Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to day 295 of Quran in a Year Plus, where we learn to look at the world and live life according to the lens of the Quran. Today we're going to be looking at verses 28 to 47 of Surah Yā-Sīn. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين. We did not send down in order to destroy his people who denied him and killed him any army of angels from the heavens, nor is it our way to send down angels upon nations when we destroy them. Their affair is far easier for us than that. We had already decreed that their destruction would come through a single cry from the sky, not through the descent of angels of punishment. إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون. Their destruction required nothing more than a single mighty cry that we sent upon them. Immediately they fell lifeless, with not a single one remaining. They became like a blazing fire that had suddenly been extinguished, leaving no trace behind. يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون. What regret, remorse, and sorrow await the servants who denied the truth when they witnessed the punishment on the day of judgment. In the worldly life, whenever a messenger came to them from Allah, they mocked him and ridiculed him. Their final outcome was deep regret on the day of resurrection for what they neglected regarding the rights of Allah. أَلَمْ يَرَوْا كَمْ أَهْلَكْنَا قَبْلَهُمْ مِنَ الْقُرُونِ أَنَّهُمْ إِلَيْهِمْ لَا يَرْجِعُونَ. Have these deniers and mockers of the messengers not taken a lesson from the nations that came before them? Those people died and will never return to this worldly life again. Rather, they have gone ahead to face the deeds they sent forth, and Allah will recompense them for what they did. وَإِن كُلٌّ لَمَّا جَمِيعٌ لَدَيْنَا مُحْضَرُونَ. Every nation without exception will be gathered before us on the day of resurrection, after being raised from the dead, so that we may judge them and recompense them for their deeds. وَآيَةٌ لَهُمُ الْأَرْضُ الْمَيْتَةُ أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون. A sign for those who deny the resurrection that it is indeed true is this barren, lifeless earth. We send down rain upon it from the sky, causing various plants to grow, and bringing forth different kinds of grain from it for people to eat. The one who gives life to the earth through rain and vegetation is fully capable of giving life to the dead and resurrecting them. وَجَعَلْنَا فِيهَا جَنَّاتٍ مِّن نَخِيلٍ وَأَعْنَابٍ وَفَجَّرْنَا فِيهَا مِنَ الْعُيُونِ. And within this earth upon which we sent down rain, we made gardens of date palms and grapevines, and we caused springs of water to gush forth within it to irrigate and sustain them. لِيَأْكُلُوا مِن ثَمَرِهِ وَمَا عَمِلَتْهُ أَيْدِيهِمْ أَفَلَا يَشْكُرُونَ. So that people may eat from the fruits of those gardens that Allah has graciously provided for them, though they themselves had no role in creating them. Will they not then thank Allah for these blessings by worshipping Him alone and believing in His messengers? سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون. Exalted and perfect is Allah, who created all types and pairs, from the plants and trees that grow from the earth, from human beings themselves by creating males and females, and from other creations of Allah in the land, the sea, and elsewhere that people do not know. وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون. And a sign for people pointing to the oneness of Allah is that we remove the light with the departure of the day and the arrival of the night. We strip away the daylight from it and bring darkness after the day has gone, and suddenly people find themselves surrounded by darkness. والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم. And among his signs is the sun, which travels along its course toward a fixed point and limit known to Allah, never exceeding what has been determined for it. This precise arrangement is the decree of the Almighty, whom none can overcome, and the All-Knowing, from whom nothing concerning His creation is hidden. وَالْقَمَرَ قَدَّرْنَاهُ مَنَازِلَ حَتَّى عَادَ كَالْعُرْجُونِ الْقَدِيمِ. And another sign is the moon, for which we have determined phases and stations night after night. It begins small, then grows larger, then gradually decreases until it returns like an old date palm stalk, thin, curved, yellowish, and aged. لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون. The movements of the sun, the moon, the night, and the day have all been precisely determined by Allah. None of them exceeds the limit set for it. The sun cannot overtake the moon and alter its course or extinguish its light, nor can the night come before the day and enter upon it before its appointed time has ended. Each of these created bodies, along with the other planets and galaxies, travels within its own designated orbit, according to Allah's decree and preservation. وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون. And another sign for them of Allah's oneness and His favor upon His servants is that we carried those who survived the flood from the descendants of Adam during the time of Nuh alayhi salam in the fully laden ship. Allah carried upon it pairs from every kind of His creation. وَخَلَقْنَا لَهُم مِّن مِّثْلِهِ مَا يَرْكَبُونَ. And another sign of His oneness and His favor upon His servants is that we created for them vehicles similar to the ship of Nuh, upon which they ride and travel. وَإِن نَّشَأْ نُغْرِقْهُمْ فَلَا صَرِيخَ لَهُمْ وَلَا هُمْ يُنقَذُونَ. And if we willed, we could drown them. Then there would be no one to rescue them if we intended their drowning, nor anyone who could save them once our decree had come to pass. إِلَّا رَحْمَةً مِنَّا وَمَتَاعًا إِلَى حِينٍ. Except that we show them mercy by saving them from drowning and allowing them to continue enjoying the blessings of life until an appointed term that they cannot exceed, so that perhaps they may take heed and believe. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمُ اتَّقُوا مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيكُمْ وَمَا خَلْفَكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. And when it is said to these polytheists who turn away from faith, beware of what lies ahead of you from the matters and hardships of the hereafter, and beware of the worldly life that is passing away behind you, so that Allah may bestow His mercy upon you. They do not respond. Rather, they turn away from the reminder without any concern for it. وَمَا تَأْتِيهِم مِّنْ آيَةٍ مِّنْ آيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ إِلَّا كَانُوا عَنْهَا مُعْرِضِينَ. Whenever signs from Allah come to these stubborn polytheists, signs that clearly point to His oneness and His exclusive right to be worshipped, they turn away from them and refuse to take heed. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ أَنفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقَكُمُ اللَّهُ قَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَنُطْعِمُ مَن لَّوْ يَشَاءُ اللَّهُ أَطْعَمَهُ إِنْ أَنْتُمْ إِلَّا فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. And when these stubborn deniers are told, Spend upon the poor and needy from the wealth that Allah has provided for you. They respond in objection to the believers. Should we feed those whom Allah could have fed if He had willed to do so? We will not oppose His will. Then they say, you believers are nothing but in clear error and far removed from the truth. As we reflect over today's verses, Allah says, and we did not send down upon His people after Him any army from the heaven, nor was it necessary for us to do so. Ibn Juzay says, the meaning is that Allah destroyed them with a single cry uttered by Jibreel alayhi salam. He did not need to send down an army from heaven to punish them because they were too insignificant for that. Allah does not need armies to stop anyone. He does not need effort to bring anyone down. One command from Him is enough. So the believer pauses and asks themselves, if Allah is the one who controls everything, is it wise for me to disobey Him? And if I am returning to Him, then am I preparing for that return? He says, and indeed all of them will be brought before us. Ibn Uthaymeen mentions, this verse teaches the obligation of preparing for that day. Allah did not inform us about it merely so that we would know about it. Rather, He informed us so that we would prepare ourselves and be ready for the accounting that awaits us. And this is the purpose of the reminders. The Quran is not giving us information just to fill the mind. It is awakening the heart so we can prepare to meet Allah. But instead of preparing, many people turn away from the signs. Allah, He says, glory be to the one who created all pairs, from what the earth produces, from their own selves, and from things they do not know. Imam al-Qurtubi mentions, how astonishing is the disbelief of these people when they witness such signs. And Ibn Ashur mentions, when Allah says, and from things they do not know, there is an indication of hidden secrets placed within the creation of animals and their various kinds. These are the qualities that distinguish one species from another and distinguish males from females. Allah also placed within them the soul by which living creatures differ from plants, enabling them to manage their affairs according to the nature and capacity of each species and type. The noblest of all species is the human being. The meaning of from things they do not know is things whose details people do not know, even if they may recognize them in a general sense. A thoughtful person realizes that creation contains hidden mysteries that human minds have not fully comprehended. Among these mysteries is the soul itself. People may differ in how much they discover and understand of these characteristics and realities. Some generations, communities, or groups may uncover aspects of creation through observation, experimentation, and discovery that others before them did not know. Yet all people remain equal in their ignorance of many of the deeper realities that still remain hidden. It is this general awareness that there are countless undiscovered mysteries within creation that makes these matters part of the signs by which Allah calls us to reflect upon His creation of all pairs. So when we look at creation, we should not only see what we know, we should also be humbled by how much we do not know. The more a person reflects, the more he realizes creation is full of signs pointing back to the Creator. And then Allah turns our attention to the heavens, and a sign for them is the night. We strip the day away from it, and suddenly they are left in darkness, and the sun runs on its appointed course. That is the determination of the Almighty, the All-Knowing. Shaykh Sa'di mentions, all of this is a clear sign and a brilliant proof of the greatness of the Creator and the greatness of His attributes, especially His power, wisdom, and knowledge, which are particularly evident in these verses. Ibn Ashur mentions, Allah specifically mentions the attributes Al-Aziz, the Almighty, and Al-Alim, the All-Knowing, because their meanings are especially suited to the orderly movement of the heavenly bodies. His might is manifested in His subjugation of this immense celestial body, while His knowledge is evident in the magnificent and precise system by which it operates. And Allah, He says, and a sign for them is that we carried their descendants in the fully laden ship. Ibn Uthaymeen mentions, in this verse is a reminder of Allah's favor upon humanity through the knowledge and ability He granted them to build ships and travel across the seas. Had these ships not existed, people would not have been able to cross from one landmass to another when separated by water, but Allah taught humanity the knowledge and means to construct them, enabling them to reach what they have reached and benefit from travel, trade, and communication across the world. The blessing is not merely the ship itself, but the knowledge, skills, and guidance that Allah placed at humanity's disposal to make such achievements possible. And this is so relevant for us today. Every invention, every tool, advancement, every form of transportation, technology that we benefit from, all of it goes back to knowledge Allah allowed human beings to learn. And instead of thanking Allah and being grateful to Him, some people do not reflect, they do not become grateful, they use even true statements in a false way. Allah, He says about them, when they were commanded to feed and take care of those who are needy, they said, should we feed those whom, if Allah had willed, He would have fed? And in Tafsir al-Sam'ani it comes, what they mentioned is a false argument. Allah withheld worldly wealth from the poor not out of stinginess, but as a test, and He commanded the wealthy to spend not because He needs their wealth, but to test their gratitude. And Shaykh Sa'di says, their use of Allah's will as an excuse shows their great ignorance, or their dangerous pretense of ignorance. Divine will is never a valid excuse for disobedience. Yes, whatever Allah wills happens, and whatever He does not will does not happen. But Allah has enabled His servants and given them the ability to obey His commands and avoid His prohibitions. So when they abandon what they were commanded to do, that is their own choice, not something they were forced or compelled into. And this teaches us that we should never use qadr as an excuse to avoid responsibility. We cannot say, if Allah wanted me to change, He would change me, while refusing to take a step. Allah's decree is not an excuse to abandon Allah's command. And then Allah describes another disease of the heart. He says, no sign from the signs of their Lord comes to them, except that they turn away from it. Ibn Uthaymin mentions, this shows that human beings may become arrogant and dismiss signs without even considering them. The obligation upon a person is to first examine and understand something, then judge it. For this reason it is said, judgment upon a matter is based upon first understanding it. One should not reject before investigating, nor condemn before understanding. And this also teaches us a very important principle. Before rejecting advice, understand it. Before judging your spouse, understand where they are coming from. Before reacting to your child, understand what is happening beneath the behavior. Before dismissing a strategy, a reminder, or a correction, pause and ask, have I actually understood this, or did I just react to it? We should first listen, reflect, and then judge with fairness. So as we walk away from today's episode, let's take some time to reflect upon the creations of Allah, the earth and its fruits, the sky and its celestial bodies. Consider the grains or fruits that are part of your daily meals. Reflect on their journey from a tiny seed until they finally reach your table, and then thank Allah for His countless blessings. We ask Allah to fill our hearts with certainty through His signs, to make us people who reflect upon His creation, who recognize His blessings and respond with gratitude and obedience. I'll see you tomorrow inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.